What's going on, everyone, and welcome back. I got some bad news. Something I want to share with y'all today, more of an info post, something that I've seen that had quite a bit of information to it, and it's not good. It's talking about fake Lorcana cards. Of course, we knew they were coming, right? Like every popular TCG is going to have fakes eventually that are going to be made, and when they're made, they start to get better and better, and they become harder to detect, especially with these authentication and grading companies like PSA, CGC, whoever it may be. These cards are very new, right? So spotting some of those real versus fake differences is going to be kind of hard to do in the beginning. And as these grading companies figure out that these cards are not authentic, they can pull that card from their system. And typically that's what PSA will do, right? If they have an issue with the card, then they'll kill that card in the system, so that way when you look it up, it won't no longer populate something was wrong with that card, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. This is a very big deal. This was PSA, they graded a fake Elsa, a PSA 8. I'm not going to read everything line for line. There's a lot of information to digest here. It's just more to get this out for awareness and understanding. I didn't want to put out all of this person's information across the internet, so you probably have seen this post. If you haven't, then just go along with me and then we'll cover what's going on here. So this person says they bought a PSA 8 Elsa Spirit of the Winter Enchanted, which is the very expensive Elsa card, right? The one that's going for like $3,000 in a PSA 10. And they bought this on March 5th from eBay. It went through eBay Authenticity Guarantee, so eBay authenticates the cards. As they say, they put a little sticker on the back showing that they authenticated the card before they ship it out to the buyer. And I have a photo as well, so you can see right here, it shows that eBay did in fact authenticate this card during their process. And this card was also slabbed by PSA and graded. And this card was delivered to the person on March 13th. This was very, very recent. Upon arrival, they noticed the card did not look right. So they took a jeweler's loupe, right? And they said they verified that the card is counterfeit. So the person was smart, right? They had a jeweler's loupe. They got very close. They magnified the card, looked at it to see if there was any kind of issues with the card. And they noticed that it was off. So what they did, they tried to contact PSA. And throughout no avail, right? They couldn't get a hold of customer service. Had an issue trying to get a hold of them. So luckily this person lived close enough to PSA that they took the drive up there. So this person said, this was the last straw. I got in my car to drive to PSA 50 minutes away, so roughly an hour. And after they got there, after about 15 minutes, it says Joshua Searles, a PSA concierge, came out to meet them to hear the case. And he was very disappointed in the lack of overall support I endured and took it upon himself to help me out. So this person took their Elsa card to the back after waiting a very long time to basically help out taking it back to verify that this card was in fact fake. It says after about an hour and a half, he took the card with permission and had the PSA team inspect it and confirm that it was indeed fake. Specifically, 4 team members looked at the back of the card and said the thickness of the gold lines was the surefire tell. The PSA representative then assisted with a CRC form and reassured that the support would be in touch. As of today, PSA has stood by their service and will be issuing me a fair market value refund along with the card. So PSA decided to give the card back to the individual because it wasn't their property. I don't know if I would have gave it back, being that it was fake and they paid the fair market value, but to each their own. I think this person has good intentions, at least from what I see, right? So they could use that card to show other people, be careful. Like, this is what a fake one looks like, and this is what a real one looks like. And it says, while there are known issues with PSA and it is challenging to reach support under normal circumstances, I applaud their responsiveness and professionalism when it came to standing by their service. So they are happy with the service. I do hear a lot of stories where PSA, basically, you have a hard time if they damage your cards or something like that. Not really like with fake cards, but damage, to try to give you some kind of compensation. And what it normally has boiled down to, they'll try to give you maybe a discount or some free credits towards like authentication, sending your cards back in. But that's not what people want, right? Like, our cards are worth a lot of money. So this person is happy because in this particular circumstance, the card was not authentic. They stood by the quality of it. They admitted to the fault. They actually said, hey, we know we did grade and authenticate a fake ELSA card as a PSA 8. We apologize for that. They gave the fair market value. The person took their original property with the money and they went about their business. So, I mean, I do like that PSA did this. I think it's nice that they did admit to their fault. I do think it's nice that they did reimburse them. I do think their customer service needs to be worked on, because if you can't get through to PSA by telephone, and you don't live, an hour away or in the same state, this is going to be an issue. Like, this may not have been rectified. And that's the problem at hand, right? This card could have been circulating out there and being sold from person to person to person. And we don't really know how many are out there right now. So you really have to educate yourself and start looking at the differences, get you some equipment like a jeweler's loupe. And even then, right, the fakes are getting better and better. So understand what's a fake versus a real one. And I can do some research and try to make a video on that soon. But this right here says, I know there have been other Lorcana PSA controversies, but this is a moment when they took the ownership and showed humility. So I'm going to go ahead and show some other photos. These are the photos that were posted. Yeah, so go ahead and take a close-up look at the card. And as you can see, the card looks really good. The hollow pattern looks good. There are some differences. I believe there's supposed to be like a grid pattern inside of these diamonds right here. So it is kind of hard to tell, right? But as you understand what a fake looks like, it's the same with Pokemon. People who've been doing it for years can spot a fake from a mile away, but people who are new to it and don't educate themselves, it becomes extremely hard, because sometimes it comes down to the small, minuscule, very microscopic factors that you may not even realize that's the reason why it's fake. Like when you look at a Jordan 86 Fleer rookie, it has that small white print dot on the back that shows that it's real. And I know some of you out there, you sports collectors, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you can have a very good looking card, but you have to look for that very small, minuscule factor that makes it different. And then some people will say, and let me know if you agree with this, right? Drop a comment, let me know how you feel. I know a lot of people are going to be mad about this video and say, forget PSA. You're going to have the other side who are saying, this right here, right? 2023 grades by category. I mean, PSA grades millions of products. So there are going to be, room for error. They are going to make mistakes. You have 5.7 million TCG cards graded versus, SGC 125K, which they now own, right? Beckett 372K, 1.4 million for CGC. So that is a huge difference. And to say that they won't make a mistake is just purely wrong, right? Like, they are going to make mistakes, because, I mean, it's very, to me, right? It is still very subjective. There's not a lot of AI incorporated. There's not always a surefire way to tell when something is fake, especially when something is brand new. And while they are paid to do that, they are going to make mistakes, because nobody is perfect. And I think that's why you have to be very careful, because PSA is not always right? PSA is not always right. And you just have to understand what you're buying. So go ahead and educate yourself, understand what you're buying, look through all the forums, and just make sure that you're comfortable before you purchase something. Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. And I'll be back soon with another video, and I'll see y'all later. Have a blessed day. Out.